Hey folks, Eric the Maker GM here. I just wanted to give a real quick kind of correction, I don't know if you'd call it that, about the fine molds kit in an earlier section when I reviewed the instruction manuals. I mentioned that the Bandai kit had some nice color illustrations and in the instruction manual, and that the fine molds kit didn't. But what I left out is the fact that there are a couple of really nice color references that are in the fine molds kit, and they're actually, they're pretty good size, as you can see. I mean, this is a large reference there. So I just wanted to point that out as kind of a correction and something that I wanted to mention in fairness. So on with the next section. Okay, for this section, I wanted to take a look at some of the sidewall detail, and the first thing I wanted to point out is if you look at the sidewalls for the fine molds kit, they're extremely barren. There's almost no detail on them. Almost everything is plant-on detail that you add in. And with the Bandai kit, there's a lot of detail already on the sidewalls. A lot of the sidewall pieces are already there. And if you can see, for example, in this piece, it's very, very sharp molding. Whereas when we look at the fine molds kit, comparatively, that's kind of mushy. It's a little bit rounded compared to what's on the Bandai kit. Now, I've heard some people talk about this detail and kind of justify it by saying, oh, well, the fine molds kit is an older kit. Yes, it's an older kit, but it's not like we're comparing kits from the 1960s to kits from today. I mean, these are both modern kits, and the difference in sharpness and crispness of detail that we're seeing, I don't think that saying it's an older kit really displaces any of that criticism. So that's a look at the sidewalls real quick. Obviously, I could show much more on there, but that's some pretty nice detail even molded on. And then of course, it includes a whole bunch of plant-on pieces as well to detail that up even more. So another thing I wanted to look at is the equipment bays that are exposed in, when you look in the mandibles on the Falcon, and it's got those equipment bays where, Chewbacca lights things on fire and they're always having to fix things. So with the Bandai kit, they're kind of joined together in twos so we get perfect spacing and orientation, which you're probably going to get with the fine mold kit anyway, because you have locating pins. And the fine molds bays are detailed up as well, but again, the detail looks not as sharp when you look at them side by side. It's just, the fine molds detail just looks more rounded. That might be an artifact of the color of the plastic, but I don't think it is. I think that the fine molds actually is a bit more rounded, and I understand the manufacturing reasons for doing that, because it makes things, it makes things easier to extract from molds and stuff like that. The machining doesn't require as precision of work in the first place to make the mold, so there's some legitimate reasons to do that, but I really like the crispness of the detail on the Bandai kit.